looking for the missing. John slowed down the car. I put the gun on the fuse. I asked, "Why did you put yourself in danger and come after me? After arresting, none of you were found." "Did something happen?" Harry said. "We didn't know about the incident. We thought you sold us out. We were upset with you. But Elisabeth was on your side when these things happened. She was constantly watching here. During one of these visits, she noticed the presence of several of these creatures around the prison. She tried to get our help without revealing the secret between herself and you, but we refused. She decided to come alone to save you, which she did. We didn't want to lose Elisabeth, so we came too. She told us, if you hadn't been imprisoned, the police would have arrested us all or we would have been killed by Johnson's group." I said, "That's right. If I hadn't done this, not only you, but I would have been dead too." I gave the police a few big fish and passed him a shipment to save him from Johnson. That way we got rid of Johnson and the police. "Harry, we're sorry. But now we're all together, safe and sound." John nodded and Elisabeth smiled. The children had chosen a large store as their headquarters. At first they had been fighting with people, looters, and armed men. But as the monsters and their attacks spread, there was no more people or looters. The store's windows had been covered with very strong steel guards. They had made the places they didn't go through unsafe with homemade traps. In each corner of the store, everyone had made a room for themselves, to sleep, change clothes, and they had reached the store early. The people and looters hadn't been able to take much food. We had food for 7 months. We could find as much canned goods and jams and snacks as we wanted in the store. The food had been moved to the back of the store, so it was safe and no one could see it from the outside and be tempted to break into the store. I had my first breakfast after my release with the children, and it was a lot of fun. As Elisabeth told me, it was safer during the day, and at night these creatures came out of the shadows. We had to get a few vehicles, guns and ammunition and gasoline. It was not known how long this situation would continue. The rain began to fall and after a while it got heavier. She got out of the car. It was 11:30 at night. She took out his pistol and prepared it to shoot at anything moving. The police cars were left unattended. She approached one of the cars and took a look inside. The lightning flashed for a moment, and thunder roared. She continued on her way. A body had fallen to the ground. She got closer. The police officer was lying face down on the ground. She pointed her gun at him and said, "Can you hear me? Hey!" She kicked him. She turned her hand away with a single movement, and his face contorted when she saw his condition. The officer was torn. She took his gun and put his pistol in the holster. He took out the magazine. There were enough bullets in it. He replaced it and after a moment of hesitation, he set off. The officers had gone to repel the hunter's attack. That night, he was on duty at the office. She called many times, but there was no answer or return from his colleagues. His entire clothes and body were soaked. The closer he got to the huge building of the asylum, more bodies were lying on the ground. The sky roared again, and he looked behind him in the lightning. Police cars were parked on the street with their lights flashing, silent. She strapped a small but powerful flashlight to her chest, and she stepped onto the first step of the building's entrance. The power was out. She passed through the front door. Darkness and silence greeted her. Sometimes the hallway was lit up with lightning from the sky. She pricked up her ears. She walked so lightly that it was as if he were walking on clouds. The sound of his footsteps should not attract the attention of anyone or anything. The asylum was very large and full of hallways and rooms. Where should she start? She held the radio to his mouth and said, "Can anyone hear me? I'm Jill Kidman, the officer on shift tonight. If you can answer or give me a few taps on the radio. She leaned against the wall and waited. I'm Jill Kidman, answer, is anyone alive? She said to herself. Damn it, she continued on her way. In the second corridor, many doors appeared in front of the flashlight. Suddenly, the lights in the building began to turn on. She looked at the lights on the ceiling and turned off her flashlight with a smile. There was a sound of objects moving and knocking. The remaining officers must have turned on the lights or reinforcements had arrived. She had to get back to the street. She quickly made her way to the cars. There was no one,